Hey everyone, and welcome to your Daily Explainer. This one is published by HastingsNow.com, and we've put together a gorgeous, factual rundown that we know our local residents are just going to absolutely love. Whether you've lived in Hastings your whole life or you're just tuning in to see what's happening in town, this explainer is for you. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. We're going to break down some super practical weather tips so you can plan your day out perfectly, and then we're going to crack open a little time capsule to look at the history that happened on this exact date. It is a beautiful day out there, so let's get right to it.
All right, let's just dive right in. 86 degrees Fahrenheit, that is our expected high for today. Now, if you've been around Hastings earlier this week, you know exactly what a massive relief this is. I mean, we've dealt with some downright dangerous heat recently, but today is shaping up to be a really typical, warm, and just highly usable July day. We're finally getting a break, and it is going to be wonderfully manageable out there.
So here is exactly how this Thursday is going to play out step by step. Starting off in the morning, we're looking at a really pleasant mix of clouds and sunshine. We've got a light south-southeast wind that's gradually going to shift over to the south-southwest. Honestly, it's the perfect setup for outdoor work, running some errands, or taking an early morning walk down by the river. As we move into the afternoon, that's when we'll hit that high near 86 degrees. It'll be partly sunny, and that 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze is going to stick around, which really makes the warmth feel quite comfortable. Heading into the evening, the good news just keeps coming. It stays completely dry. This is prime patio weather, folks, for sure. But do take note of step 4. Overnight, those clouds will increase, and we're looking at a 40% chance of showers rolling in, mostly after 3 a.m. as we head into Friday.
Now, since we're talking about those late-night showers, I think it's the perfect time for our weather joke of the day. So tell me, why did the Hastings Bridge bring an umbrella to bed?
Because Thursday stays dry, but the showers are planning a 3 a.m. crossing. Okay, I know, but you've got to appreciate a little local weather humor, right? And honestly, this joke is a pretty perfect transition for us. Because while we wait for those late-night showers to show up on the radar, let's take a step back into our historical time capsule to see what happened on July 30th in years past.
All right, taking a quick look at our timeline. In 1965, Medicare and Medicaid become law. In 1971, Apollo 15 lands. And in 1999, we see a record-breaking Minnesota dew point.
Milestone number 1, 1965. A national milestone. Medicare and Medicaid become law.
So on July 30th, 1965, a massive national milestone was reached. President Lyndon B. Johnson officially signed the legislation creating Medicare, providing health coverage for older Americans, and Medicaid for folks with limited incomes. Now, according to the National Archives, Johnson actually didn't sign this at the White House. Instead, he traveled all the way to the Harry S. Truman Library in Missouri. He did this specifically to honor the former president's early pushes for national health insurance during his own time in office.
Moving on to number 2, 1971, expanding lunar geology. Apollo 15 lands beside Hadley Rille. On this exact day, back in 1971, humanity took another giant leap on the moon. Apollo 15 astronauts David Scott and James Irwin successfully landed their lunar module, called Falcon, right next to a lunar feature known as Hadley Rille. According to NASA, this mission placed a really heavy emphasis on lunar geology. But honestly, the coolest part? This was the very first mission to introduce the Lunar Roving Vehicle. Because they finally had this rover, Scott and Irwin were able to travel significantly farther across the moon's surface. That extra mobility allowed them to collect an absolutely astonishing 170 pounds of lunar samples to bring all the way back to Earth. And number 3 brings us back home. 1999, tropical Minnesota. The Twin Cities hit an 81-degree dew point.
If you were around the Twin Cities area on July 30th, 1999, you probably remember just totally sweating through your clothes. At 11 a.m. that morning, the local dew point hit a record 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Now think about today. We have a comfortable, breezy 86 degrees. It's warm, yeah, but it's pleasant. But an 81-degree dew point? The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources notes that is exceptionally rare for us. It creates this intense humidity that literally feels tropical. The air gets so saturated with moisture that your sweat actually struggles to evaporate from your skin. So as you're out there enjoying today's lovely breeze, just be super thankful we aren't repeating that tropical sauna from 1999.
Section 4, planning your Thursday. Actionable tips for Hastings. Okay, here is your actionable checklist before you head out the door today.
For the afternoon, lightweight summer clothing is absolutely your best bet as we start approaching that 86-degree mark. If your outdoor plans are going to keep you out for a while, definitely pack some extra water and sunscreen. Now remember that 3 a.m. rain we talked about earlier? Make sure to bring in any cushions, tools, or yard items overnight that you don't want getting soaked. And finally, you know how summer storms can be? They are incredibly unpredictable and can change on a dime. So make sure to double-check official alerts and the radar before you head out for any early morning drives on Friday.
Which leaves us with one final thought as you go about your Thursday. With perfectly dry skies expected all the way until 3 a.m., how are you going to spend your evening? Are you going to kick back and relax on a local Hastings patio, just enjoying that comfortable breeze? Or maybe you'll spend some time stargazing tonight, looking up at the moon and thinking about David Scott and James Irwin exploring Hadley Rille all those years ago. Whatever you end up choosing, have an absolutely fantastic day, Hastings, and we will see you next time.